Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to Tech Talk, a technology-based webinar series where we are embracing technology to move your business forward. I'm Ramya Warrior, the chair and host of this show. Our guest today is a LinkedIn guru, Karen Yankovich. Karen is a social media and LinkedIn evangelist who offers results-oriented and expert conversational marketing strategies that positions her clients to bring in instant results. Karen's background includes over 20 years in the field of information technology, marketing, and customer relationships, making social media her ideal niche. Hey Karen, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hi Ramya, nice to be here with you guys today.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah. So I have a favor to ask of all of you who are attending. Now, if you like this training, please post something on social media. And I would love for you to use hashtags. Please use hashtag ASIDNJ and hashtag Tech Talk for every single episode. And please use KarenYLive for this particular one. And let Karen know towards the end what you liked about LinkedIn. And please make sure that you connect with her directly. All right, Karen, you want to take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm so excited to be here with you guys. And actually tag me in your posts. Feel free to take screenshots and post it on Instagram. I'm at Karen Yankovich across all social media, and it's spelled on the bottom here, so you guys know how to spell it. So tag me in your posts. I would love that. And it'll give me a chance to get to know you guys a little bit as well. So, and I have to say, I was, as soon as I logged on here today, I realized who I was speaking to. You guys, they were interior designers, and I'm a little intimidated. I literally just moved into this house. I'll move over. You can see, like, my closets don't even have doors or trim on them. So, but you're making me inspired to do some fun backgrounds behind me as I design and decorate this new house. So yeah, I'm excited to be here, and I'm also a Jersey girl, so I'm local. So I love that you all are, this is the New Jersey chapter, and I'm assuming most of you are from New Jersey. So yeah, so we're gonna get started. So I'm gonna share my screen with you. I want to just tell you a little bit about what we're going to talk about here today. We're going to talk about LinkedIn and your LinkedIn profile, but here's what I know from doing a lot of these type of events. I know that if I just sit here and say, here's what you need to do, you guys are going to have this big, long to-do list, and it's never going to get done. So what I want to do is I want to inspire you also a little bit with why some of these things we're going to talk about are important today. And I'm going to go till about 10:30, and then we'll take questions. So, write your questions down. I'm happy to answer them, and I'm, happy to be connected with you moving forward. If you hear something here today that you go to implement and you're not sure what to do, you can always reach out to me on social media, and I'm happy to help you out. Okay, so we're going to talk about LinkedIn today. Let me tell you just a little bit first about me. And Ramya asked this question too, why LinkedIn, why me? Why did I hang my hat on LinkedIn? And, a little bit about me, my background is that I've been in technology, right? So I love that you guys are doing tech talk videos. I've been in technology my entire life. I worked for New Jersey Bell, so now you guys know how old I am, 100 years ago. And then which became Bell Atlantic and Verizon and all that other stuff. And then I had a consulting business for many years where I helped businesses with technology. How do they communicate between offices, that kind of thing. So that was kind of the business. So I've always been very entrepreneurial. I had a consulting firm. But a few years ago, maybe 5 or 10 years ago now, I started to take some classes in online marketing. Because even though it was a tech business, my role was always the sales role, always even when I owned the company, I would go out with the salespeople. I like to build relationships with my customers and really get to know them. So so marketing, and as you guys know, marketing is really, if we don't know how to market, we can be the best interior designers or social media consultants in the world, but if we don't know how to market, we don't have any customers, right? So marketing was always a big part of what I did. And I took a couple classes a few years ago in online marketing, and I really loved it. I mean, I was a Facebook holdout. I really wasn't on Facebook from the beginning. I didn't understand it. I didn't get why everybody was on it. And then I went to a high school reunion, right, where everybody was connecting after that on Facebook, and Bergenfield High School, any of you guys from Bergen County. And I connected on LinkedIn, I mean, on Facebook, because that's what everybody was doing. And I started to, like, my brain started to whirl about all the applications for this for my business. And people started coming up to me and saying, can you help me? How did you have so many Facebook followers for your business page? So I shifted my business slowly, but that now it is 100% social media marketing and social media consulting. But here's the thing. Because I came from corporate, I understood LinkedIn. I understood networking. I understood how important it was to meet people and make connections with people and stay connected with people and follow up with those connections. And LinkedIn is where I did that. I also, because I was in technology, right? You guys can just imagine. Often I was the only woman in the room, right? It was a very male-dominated field. So if I didn't walk into those rooms really, really confident, I'd get my lunch eaten, right? I mean, like, I really needed to portray confidence, even if I wasn't quite so confident. So I learned that at an early age because of the field that I was in. So I also learned about how that just led to how important it was for me in my digital presence to continue to portray that confidence. And that kind of led to LinkedIn. So when my customers were coming to me and saying, all right, I want to do some digital marketing. I need more customers. I'm surely not going to say don't do Facebook or don't do Twitter. I love that stuff. I love Twitter. I have, 80,000 Twitter followers or something like that. I'm on Twitter every single day. I love it. And I do get customers from Twitter, but I get customers from Twitter because they check me out. When they meet me on Twitter or they connect with me on Twitter, they put my name in a Google search, right? And what comes up in the Google search is my LinkedIn profile. So that's what's happening for you as well. And that's why I really started to, one of the biggest mistakes I see small businesses and entrepreneurs making is they jump right into marketing their business and they don't take the time to create a brand for themselves. And you guys, that's even more important for you because you are your business, right? So people are going to want to know about you and your background and what you're doing, and they're going to want to see other projects you've done. They're going to want to see people that talk about you, and they want to see your recommendations that say, Remya did this amazing job for me. All of that happens on LinkedIn, right? So for me, that's the first place I pretty much start my clients is with their LinkedIn profile. So let's kind of jump into this. So if you're going to do social media, if you're going to create a profitable social media campaign, it isn't just, it's inbound marketing, right? So what does that mean? Inbound marketing. Outbound marketing is you're calling people on the phone, right? Those calls you get while you're having dinner every night, right? That's outbound marketing. Inbound marketing is developing relationships with people so they call you. Doesn't that sound better to you? It surely sounds better to me, right? Mm-hmm. And that happens when you build relationships with people. And, the industry you're all in, you're not necessarily looking for 100 new customers tomorrow, right? You're looking for one new customer tomorrow, and then a new customer after that, and a new customer after that. And that happens when you build relationships. So relationships are at the heart of a profitable social media campaign. If you're creating a Facebook page and you're just posting on there on a regular basis, and maybe you're posting, pictures of houses you've decorated or offices or whatever it is that you do, and maybe you're even doing some local networking, and maybe you're like, you see these people on their business cards. Follow me on Facebook, like my page. Not me. If I meet you at a business event, let me actually see if I can show you. Here's my business card. Oh, here it is. Look at my business card. Actually, you can't see my camera anymore?
No, yeah, we can, but not.
Okay. So that's my business card, and you'll see right on it, I have my LinkedIn profile URL right on it. I don't say like me on Facebook. I say connect with me on LinkedIn, because that's how I develop relationships, and that's how I get a new client. I love Facebook because it drives traffic to my email list, and that's another tech talk, right? But in the meantime, I want to build relationships. And that, to me, is how I get clients. That's how you get clients. And that's how we can use LinkedIn to develop and nurture more of those relationships. So I kind of like to talk about statistics because I like I want you to understand the side, like this, you know, that's that right brain, left brain, right? That tech geek and that social media geek. So here's a statistic that I like. 41% of millionaires use LinkedIn. I don't know about you guys, but you may have heard this, that, you know, if you want to be successful, you have to do what the successful people do. Well, successful people use LinkedIn, 41% of them. So let me just take you on over to LinkedIn for a second. And I just want to preface this, you guys, by saying that LinkedIn has just rolled out a new user interface. I do not have the new user interface yet. So when you go onto LinkedIn, you may see something different than what I'm showing you here today. And I'm actually always a little worried that I'm going to go on to LinkedIn and then I'm going to, on a live event like this, and I'm going to have the new user interface and have no idea where to click. But we're safe that I still have the old interface. You may see something different, and I just want to let you know that. So that those millionaires that we talked about, right? 41% of millionaires. I can assure you that they don't come on LinkedIn and say, I'm pretty good at what I do, right? What do successful people do? They exude success, right? They exude confidence. I want you to come onto LinkedIn, and when you're creating a profile, I want you to be really, really confident. And you'll see here that I say, you know, helping businesses profit with social selling, LinkedIn expert. I call myself an expert, and I say I'm a successful social media strategist. This is my headline. And remember what I said to you, if people are Googling you, let me take you over to LinkedIn for a sec, to Google for a second. If you throw my name in a Google search, let's say you hear about me, somebody says you should call Karen Yankovich for your LinkedIn, right? You're gonna throw my name in Google to see if you can find me. What's gonna come up is my website, which is great. But the second thing that comes up is LinkedIn. And I want you to look at this right here. Right here, I tell you what I'm, you know, that's my headline. And this is really interesting. I changed my headline yesterday. So here's the thing. Google is indexing this stuff on LinkedIn. Google is going to LinkedIn and it indexes your headline. So what does that mean for you? If somebody's searching New Jersey designer or whatever those keywords are for you, you want your profile to come up, right? Mm-hmm. This is actually proof that they're doing that, because this is not the headline that you're looking at here. So LinkedIn is going in, and I just did it yesterday, and it's just a couple little tweaks, but it didn't actually index it yet. So what that's telling me, and should be telling you, is Google is going to LinkedIn, it's grabbing your headline, and it's bringing it up when people search for you. And when they search for LinkedIn expert or LinkedIn speaker, or, right? So you want to make sure you're feeding Google the words you want. What are people searching for that you want to come up as the search result? And use those words here in this headline. Because Google is going to help. Let Google do the work, right? Let Google bring people to your LinkedIn profile while you're sleeping. But what's going to happen if you say, let me take it out of interior design for a second and use a financial planner. Let's say you're a financial planner, and maybe you're the best financial planner in the world, and you've got lots of clients and they're all over the place. And you say on LinkedIn, I'm a financial planner. Well, I don't know, does that intrigue you? I mean, there's a million financial planners on LinkedIn. But if you come here and you say, I help women over 50 create a financial plan that allows them to leave the corporate world and, you know, and go into business for themselves. Obviously that's too long, and you need to do a better job with that, right? But now when I'm looking at this, I'm like, now I'm interested. Now I'm interested in this financial planner, because she's speaking to me. She's speaking to me, not to the world. She's being really specific about who she's speaking to. And if she's smart, she's using keywords that are things like, you know, I don't know, if I'm looking for a financial planner for women retirement, right? Those are words that she should have in her LinkedIn headline, so that LinkedIn and Google help me find her, right? So I'm going on a long time about this headline, but this headline is really important. This is really what makes you stand out from the crowd. Be really confident. And I often tell my clients, if you write this headline and you don't feel a little queasy when you hit send, you haven't gone in strong enough. You have to feel like, can I really say that about myself? And that's when you're good, and that's when you hit send. No one's going to hire you if you say you're pretty good. They're going to hire you when you say, I am the best, right? So you got to do that. Notice I have a headshot here that's professional. I took the time to hire somebody. Now, if you don't, you know, if you're not ready to do that in your business, there's lots and lots of ways to get a professional headshot. Every conference I've been to in the last 5 years has a photographer there doing headshots. They often have hair and makeup people there too, which you can take advantage of that. So that's a really inexpensive way to do it. If you belong to a chamber of commerce or anything like that, you're going to want, see if you can even initiate, let's do a headshot, a headshot party, right? And get one of the members that's a photographer in to do a headshot. This is your first impression. And think about this when you think about decorating a house, right? You say to people, like, you want that first impression, you want to really grab them. You got to do that for yourself here on LinkedIn. Okay. Notice I have a header image here. You guys are a very visual profession. You definitely want to have an image here. And look, all I got to do is click this edit background, and it gives me the option to create a new image here. I'm not going to do that now, but it's really easy to do. Let's scroll down a little bit to my summary. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. I'm going to put this in as if you're looking at my profile. So this is what it's doing, is it's no longer in edit mode, and you'll be looking at my profile as if you're looking at my profile, not me, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to see, what are people seeing when they come to your profile, right? So let's take a look at this summary. I do a lot of LinkedIn speaking, and when I do this, I often do LinkedIn profile reviews for people at the conference. And I would say more than 50% of the time, people skip over the summary. I actually have somebody in a program that I'm in that I did a talk recently there on LinkedIn, and I offered to do some LinkedIn profile reviews, and I came to her profile and she didn't have a summary at all. I'm like, why are you even asking me to review this? Because you heard when I talked that you need a summary, and you don't even have a summary. So I'm stopping right there. Until you have a summary, I'm not even going any further. This is what makes this not a resume. This is what makes this, what makes you, again, you want to be really confident, but this is what makes you stand out from the crowd. I like this to be first person. I like to say, and you might want to say, I love it when I see when my client sees the finished room for the first time. I love the look on their face. Like, you want to inject some personality. You want them to, when you talk, you want them to be, I need that. I want that. And when you write this, yes, you want to talk about yourself and your credentials and why you're the best at what you do, but you want to do it from the perspective of your client. Right? Nobody cares that you're a CEO. You don't have to use the word CEO or whatever. Maybe it seems a little bit impressive, but they want to know what you can do for them. Nobody's Googling a CEO. Nobody's saying, I want an interior design CEO, right? Nobody's doing that. So use words that are going to make your client feel like, I need that. I need that. You still want to be talking about yourself, but from a client-facing standpoint. Okay? So, let me just scroll quickly down here. Let's just take a quick look at experience. I want you to look at this word experience. It does not say job title. It says experience. So if you have been, first of all, if you've had 10 years where you haven't really, staying home with your kids, whatever, nobody cares about that anymore. But I bet you weren't staying home with your feet up eating bonbons, right? I bet that many of people that are doing that are a president of this PTA or on the board of a nonprofit, right? That's experience. That shows the world that other people had confidence in you. And I want you to use that experience here on your LinkedIn profile. I want you to say that you were on the board of, on the board of directors at a nonprofit, because that shows that that you have leadership ability, right? And that's what you want to portray here on your LinkedIn profile. So don't just talk about what jobs you've had. Talk about what your experience is that led to the role you're at today. Okay? And you'll notice here that you've got the ability to add media. So please add media to these sections. It's really easy to do. You'll notice on the section where I talk about being a speaker, I actually add my speaker one sheet here so that they can see it without having to go to my website. They can scroll right down and see the kinds of talks that I do, right? But it also makes it visually attractive, and that should be important to you. So add media to every single section. You can add media to this section, your summary, and you can also add media to each section here. And one more thing before we move on. In these sections here, I talked about feeding Google, right? So the first place that Google reads is your headline, and we showed that. The second place that Google reads is your summary. So you want to use those same keywords. What are people searching for that you want to come up as a search result? You want to use those in your summary. And you'll notice here at the end, I list them all and just say special. And I'm looking over here because that's where my monitor is, where I can see this. You want to see, I use these specialties. Obviously, these are all keywords for me. So I list them in my summary so that I get a chance to throw more keywords in there, because I want Google and LinkedIn to bring people to me. And the third section that Google reads is the titles of your experience. And you might be thinking like, well, what is that? I mean, how do I use keywords there? Well, you'll see I use LinkedIn a bunch of times in my titles. I use social media in this title. But let me show you another example. Years ago, I owned a company called Infinity Communications Group. And it was 10 people in the company, right? I was the vice president, but I was vice president of everything. I hired people, I fired people, I ordered office supplies, I paid the rent, I paid the bills, I was the bookkeeper, I was the chief cook and bottle washer, I did everything. If what I was doing today was human resources related, you would see here vice president of human resources. It's legitimate. I did that. Nobody's saying what was on your business card, right? Nobody's asking about that. It's how can you recreate in an authentic way what you might have done in the past so that it builds up to who you are today. For me, it was the marketing and the media part of the business that I did. The human resources part, while it was important then, it's really not important to me here. So I don't use it. So marketing is a keyword for me and media is a keyword for me. So I use vice president, even though people aren't Googling CEO or vice president, because it does establish that credibility for me and shows some influence and leadership ability. But I also found a way to use some keywords. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't use keywords in these other sections, because these other sections, LinkedIn is a big search engine in and of itself. But those are the three places you for sure want to use those keywords: your headline, your summary, and the titles in your experience. All right, we're going to go back to the presentation here, if I can figure out how. Hang on one second. Let's see here. Okay. Let's move on to the next statistic. There are over 39 million students and recent graduates on LinkedIn. What does that tell me? It tells me that this is where people are. Now, I'm not a recent student. I mean, I just told you I work for New Jersey Bell, right? So I'm in my 50s. But I need to be where my customers are. I need to be where the clients are. So this is where these people are. Students aren't getting out of college, and surely not if I've been speaking at the college. They're not getting out of college without a great LinkedIn profile and without connecting to people. So we need to be there, because that's where the students, and that's where the world is going. The world is going to connections from people on LinkedIn. So think about this. If you're a student, who are you connecting with? You're connecting with your professors. You're connecting with people, other students that are with you. You're connecting with, maybe you're even writing recommendations for your professors and hope that they write one back for you, right? Isn't that a cool thing? So they're using this as a home for those relationships. Okay, we need to be doing the same thing. Looking at the time here, I want to make sure I don't do this. And then, this is actually an old number at this point, but just more to that, talking 332 million people on LinkedIn, spread out over 200 countries, 20 languages, with 2 new users joining every second. Okay, this is where this is growing so fast. And let me tell you something else. The average income of a typical LinkedIn user is about $90,000 a year. Okay, that's average. There is no other social media platform that has an income of $90,000. There's somewhere in the neighborhood of, now granted, there's a lot of unemployed people on Twitter, like sitting home all day in their underwear tweeting about things, right? So it's probably not a fair statistic, but it's a reality. The reality is the people on LinkedIn can afford you. So if I were you, that's where I'd want to be. This is really an interesting statistic to me too, and this is one where I really want you to understand this. And this is where I said I want you to understand the whys, not just the what you should do with your profile. 40% of LinkedIn users check LinkedIn every day. Now that probably is peppered by the fact that we all use apps on our phones and on our iPads, and we get notifications and things like that. But let's go back to LinkedIn for a second. And I want you to take a look at this, what happens when you log into LinkedIn. When you log into LinkedIn, you come to this page right here. And this is your LinkedIn wall, just like your Facebook wall. This is, if you have, let's say you have 1,000 people that are fans of your Facebook page, and you have 1,000 LinkedIn connections, okay? If you post this on your Facebook page, How much money do you think you need to spend to boost the post to have 1,000 people see that? Or even to have 400 people see that post, right? I have 10,000 people on my Facebook page and 400 people don't see a post unless I boost it, okay? But if I post that same piece of content here on LinkedIn, that statistic tells me that if I have 1,000 connections on LinkedIn, that it's possible that 400 people are going to see that post. Okay, do you following me there? So I bet that most of the people listening here today have a strategy for posting on Facebook, but probably don't have a strategy for posting on LinkedIn. You want to be in this feed every single time somebody goes into LinkedIn. Okay, because if they scroll down, most people don't have 1,000 LinkedIn connections. Maybe they have 300 or 400. If they scroll down, you're going to want them to see your posts in here. So if you post on LinkedIn once a day, and a lot of that can be scheduled, just like your Facebook stuff, you are going to have so many more people are going to see that content than if you post it on Facebook, based on that statistic. All right, that's a pretty big deal. That's a really big deal. I want you to use your time really wisely, because I know not all of you guys, I'm sure many of you, or probably all of you, don't wake up in the morning and go, I can't wait to get up and schedule a post to social media today, right? You do it because you know you have to, because it's a part of your marketing plan. Do it effectively. Spend your time wisely. All right. The last statistic, and this is really interesting to me as well, 59% of LinkedIn members have never worked at a company with more than 200 people. So I think what that's showing us is that our peers are on LinkedIn. Because not only do you want to use LinkedIn to get new clients, you want to use LinkedIn to partner with people. Okay? Now, I told you when I first got on here that I just moved into this house. Imagine if you partnered with my real estate agent, and every time this real estate agent sold a house, they gave your business card and said, you really need to meet my friend Remya. She's local, she does interior design, and she offers free consultations to every one of my clients. I don't know, if I were you, I'd be doing that, right? You can meet those real estate agents and those mortgage bankers and whatever construction people that are building additions and building new houses. You can meet other business professionals on LinkedIn with a strategy that can lead to those kinds of relationships. And that's what I said is not just about necessarily getting your next client on LinkedIn. Maybe you'll meet some business professionals that can bring you 10 new clients. But here's the thing. What do you think is going to happen if you connect with a real estate agent and you say, I want to just get to know you, blah, and you're not going to say, I want your clients. You're certainly not going to start the conversation with that. You're just going to say, I want to connect with you because I love being connected with other local business professionals. So you do a search, you narrow it down by geographically, you make sure you're only connecting with people within 10 miles of you. Imagine if all your clients were within 10 miles of you, right? And you connect with real estate agents or whatever mortgage bankers, whatever has people that you think might have clients interested in you. And when you connect with them, you just say, I'd like to be connected with other business professionals. When they connect with you, what are they going to do? They're going to look at your profile. If your profile looks like it hasn't been touched in 20 years, they're not as likely to connect with you. You want this profile to be so rock solid that when you do that initial outreach to those people to build up that connection, that they absolutely want to connect with you. If you meet me at a networking event, I already mentioned to you, you're going to get my business card. I'm going to get your business card. I'm going to sit, and I don't meet you and say, hi, I'm Karen Yankovich. I have 80,000 Twitter followers. I don't say that, right? I say, I'm Karen Yankovich. I help local businesses with their social media. That's what I say. But the next day, when I take that stack of business cards and connect with them on LinkedIn, they look at my profile, I want them to be impressed by it and go, holy crap, I need to get to know this girl better. That's what I want for you. I want them to be impressed by you so that you're building your connections, and then those few little things that I just said can probably generate 2 to 3 to 10 to 20, if you wanted, sales calls for you every single week. And that's why I do this. That's why I do what I do. All of the other social media work that needs to happen is important, right? Facebook could still be important for you. Instagram is probably a great platform as an interior designer because it's visual. But LinkedIn is where you're going to get the clients. right? The other social media is supported and they drive traffic to your email list, and there's a strategy for every one of them. LinkedIn is where you're going to get the clients. Okay, but it starts with having an amazing profile. And actually, I'll throw this out there right now. If you guys write this down, www.first3things, 3 being the number 3. Raymond, maybe you could put that in the chat. First3things.com. You'll get a free 3 video series that I offer, and it's about 3 things to start to get your to update your profile. So check that out. That'll help you get started on a great profile, because all of the other things we talked about are not going to be as effective if you haven't done the work on that profile. Okay, and we'll definitely take some questions on that. Let me just look at the time here. We're running a little bit over on this.
Karen, can you just repeat that? Is it's first 3 things?
First 3 things, 3 being the number 3.
Okay.
So the bottom line here is a strong personal brand online leads to your profitable business. Okay, you are your brand, and that to me starts with LinkedIn. You can take control of that. You can control that first impression. Yes, it's your website, but your website's going to talk about your business. Your LinkedIn profile is your personal brand. It's your first impression for your personal brand. And to me, if you take control of that first, it directly leads to higher profits in your business. So I'm going to just kind of leave you with that. I'd love for you to connect with me on LinkedIn, and tell me that you met me here, because if you connect with me on LinkedIn, I always want to know where I met you, right? Because that helps me. And if you're interested in talking a little bit more about it, I do offer 10 free LinkedIn breakthrough sessions every month. And if you're interested in grabbing a seat in one of those, just go to KarenYankovich.com/apply. And I'll get those applications, and you'll hear from me before the end of the month as to whether or not I can fit you in on one of those 10 spots. So I'm here for as long as you guys need me. If you have any questions, Raymond, do you have any questions?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
So first, I just wanted to make sure that that we open up the questions for everyone. And as they are writing, I don't know why it's echoing a lot. So my question to you is LinkedIn Pulse versus sharing an update.
Okay, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So what Ram is asking is LinkedIn Pulse or sharing an update. So this is what comes up when you post on LinkedIn Pulse, right? And this is just why I create blog posts, and part of my blog post strategy is 3 or 4 weeks after it goes live on my blog, I come on over to LinkedIn and I pop it on LinkedIn and I just copy and paste it as a LinkedIn long form post. I'm going to show you how to do this in a minute. But you'll notice here that at the end, I say this post was first published on Karen Yankovich's blog. And I actually just posted this yesterday. So you'll see I got 5 likes on it, a comment, somebody shared it. This just gives more visibility to my blogs, and it comes up in the wall. But to do that, your options when you go onto LinkedIn is you can share an update, which just gives you this box, just like Facebook, to share an update. Upload a photo, which I don't know why anybody would ever use, because you can upload a photo here and share an update, but for whatever reason, you have that as a second option. Or write an article. And when you come to write an article, it comes to this section here, and you can write, and you see it's like a little mini blog formatted thing. I do both, Rama. When my blog goes live on my website, I come in here on LinkedIn and share it as an update. Mm-hmm. But then about 3 or 4 weeks later, I come in and I update it to here, because I like the fact that on my profile, it makes my profile richer and more substantial. If people can go here and see that I have 70 posts published on Pulse, that they can learn more about me. So I do both.
Okay, but which do you think gets more views?
I think that I don't think there's really one or the other. I don't know that there's one or the other. The thing with the Pulse is you can drive traffic to these later down the road. You can tweet to them. You can, you know what I mean? So you can drive more traffic to these posts because they each have a unique link. So Pulse posts have more longevity than a post in your wall. But when I said you should be in the wall all the time, to me, it's really about top of mind. Right, staying top of mind with people. You don't necessarily have to post. I can stay in this wall simply by coming here, and let me just find something that I'm pretty confident in. Normally you read stuff before you share it, but let me just quickly look here and see if I can find something I can share. Give me 1 second. So, of course, you can't find things when you're looking for them, right? Yeah, this. So if I come here and I share this, or I can like it, it now goes in the wall. If I share it, it now goes on my wall. So you can stay in the wall. It's really about staying on the wall, staying top of mind. You don't have to create big, long content. You can pop into LinkedIn, share something, keeps you on the wall. And that's what you want. You want your people to see your name. I have a client, actually a friend / client, who says to me, every single time I go on LinkedIn, your face is in my wall. And I laugh. I go, then it's working. That's exactly what I want. And that's what you want. You want to you don't want to be spamming it. You don't want to be doing it 10 times a day. Once a day, twice a day is plenty. But you want to be very visible, right? The more visible you are, the more they're going to come think about you when it comes time to decorate something that they need to do.
Right. All right, so we have a question from Joanne. And she says, I can't seem to load photos to my profile. How do you do it?
Say that again?
She is having a hard time loading photos to...
Really? Loading photos in her profile here? Because it should be really simple. I mean, you really just to add it to... So Joanne, if you're asking if you can add it to here, all you do is go to this section here. And again, I'm on the old user interface. You may have the new user interface. You just click this little box here, and you can create a URL or upload a file. So it's pretty simple to do. You just, if you have a URL, like you're sending people to a YouTube channel, a YouTube video, you just click here. If you want to upload a photo, you click it there. If it's here that you're looking to do it, you just click this edit background, and you get the option to upload a photo. So I don't know if that answers your question, Joanne, or not, but you shouldn't be having trouble with that.
All right, so Jody asks, I don't know why my is echoing so much. Okay, so how do you pick and choose what to accept to your network from requests? I think she means whom to accept in your network.
Okay, so here's what I feel. I feel like if they want to be connected, this is a business networking thing. If they want to be connected to me, I'm very happy to accept their connection request because it shows that they're interested in me and what I do. And when LinkedIn first came on board, right, there was all this, I only connect with certain people on LinkedIn. I keep it very tight. I don't understand that. It's like going into a networking event, like walking into a Chamber of Commerce networking event with like a big box, like Michael Jackson style, with a big box around you and saying, I only want to meet these 3 people. I don't want to meet these 2 people because I don't know them yet, right? So to me, if they want to connect with me, most of the time I connect with them. I did get a connection request one time though from somebody whose job title was gigolo. I opted not to connect with that person, but 9 out of 10 times, 99 out of 100 times, probably even more than that, I connect and then I follow up. It's really not just about connecting. It's about following up. You can go to my network here, go to your connections, and you can sort them by the recency of the connection. So once you're connected, you see sorted by recently added. You can now go through these connections. You can now go through these connections and reach out to them and say, hey, Roy, nice to be connected. Now where you want to say, I see you do blah, blah, blah. That's really interesting to me. I do this. And it's not about pitching them yet. It's about developing a relationship. So if people are looking to connect with you, unless you get a weird vibe from them, I would connect but follow up. And if you follow up with them and it turns out that they're just spamming you with a lot of buy this, buy this, buy this, then of course at that point you unconnect. It's very easy to do that. But I have never had to do that.
Oh, yeah. I do get those kind of connections all the time, like people from China, people from India. And then I'm like going, okay, I don't know if I can help you or you can help me. And our business is pretty local.
Even if that person's not your ideal client, if you warm up the relationship to them and maybe even get on the phone with them, which is really my goal, you never know if you never know, they might say, you need to meet my cousin Jack. He's going to be the perfect person for you. So you have to go into these really open-minded and really try to develop a relationship no matter what. Obviously, if they're just pitching you over and over and over and don't want to hear anything about what you've got, send them on their way. But if they genuinely want to know about you, and even if you're not a good fit for them, you never know. They may say, I want to introduce you to my brother.
Right, right. Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Yep.
All right. So Nancy says, will you come back when you have the new interface? That means she loves. That means she already loves your presentation.
Thanks, Nancy. I don't. You know what? Can I just tell you? It's killing me. I have a couple of programs that I'm itching to update, but I can't update the videos until I have the new interface. So I'm here. I'm in New Jersey. You guys, it's easy to find me. I mean, obviously, you can. Here's all the ways you can connect with me. I will definitely be doing lots of webinars, free webinars, if you follow me when I get the new interface, and I'm happy to come back anytime. So.
Yeah, and just for the people out there, Nancy, just to let you know, one of the reasons why I wanted Karen to come in is because she's a Jersey girl, and she is very, very approachable. So please do connect with her, and not just Nancy, but everybody in here.
Yeah, yep. I would love to. I would love it. I would love. And you know, those of you that are, I actually just moved to Tom's River. That's where this new house is. So if you guys do any networking in Tom's River, let me know. Send me a thing. Invite me. I need to. I moved from Bergen County, so I need to reestablish some local networking. So let me know what's good down here in this area.
Yeah, sure. All right. So Joanne asked, I have a series of projects on the site. I want to add a new project. That is the problem. And she said, no, it doesn't answer the question. So I'm not quite sure, but I think she was the person who was asking earlier.
Yeah. So when you're saying, so Joanne, you can type your answers to this. You're talking about adding a project down here in the projects section. That you can give me a yes or no? So before I go too far down this path?
Yes, she says yes.
Okay, so when you add a project, it doesn't give you the option to add a picture. So you can add the URL to the project, but I would probably be maybe make a portfolio of it and then add the URL as the portfolio. You could do things like that. Like if you look at, let me go back to putting this in mode that it's not edit mode. If you come down here, hang on one second. So if you come down here and look at my projects, which are in dire need of being updated. Let me just see where they scroll right past them. Yeah. So if you come here and go here to this project and look at it, it does take you to the page. So you can, you can send them to like a portfolio, but you can't add images to the project. At least not today. Who knows what will happen tomorrow?
All right, so Terry is asking another question. Is it worth to pay for the service LinkedIn offers so that you can see who is looking at your profile?
Yes. Well, yes and no. I mean, it's very valuable to see who's looking at your profile. Not because you want to say, what were you looking at my profile for? Like, it's really not about that. It's about, let me just see here. For me, the value is Sales Navigator. So there's a bunch of different options to upgrade. With the new user interface, you're going to lose a lot of functionality in the search functionality. But with Sales Navigator, you get the ability to really target the people that you think would be good partners and clients for you. So let me give you an example. And so let me answer your question first, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about Sales Navigator. If you look at my network and you go to, come on, why isn't it coming out? Oh, my connections. If you go to my connections, and then you'll get a tab that says who's been looking at your profile. What you want to do, where is that? Did they move it? Oh, good grief. Well, when you get to the wherever that section currently now is, which they move daily, it seems, when you get to that section to who's been looking at my profile, let me see if it's up here. I don't even know where it is now. When you get to that section, you can look at it and you can say, let's say it's Rima, right? I don't go to Rima and say, I see we're looking at my profile, but here's what I know. I know she's just been looking at my profile, and maybe there's a reason for that. So what I can do, and I'd probably take it off LinkedIn, I'd probably email her and go, Rima, I was just thinking about you the other day. I was here, there, and whatever, but I saw this and it made me think of you. And she's going to reply back and say, I was just thinking of you too. Right? Now, she doesn't know I know that because she was on my LinkedIn profile yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a way to use that intelligence to reach out to people that might be valuable to you. You know that they just checked you out for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say, I see you just looked at my profile. I would be like, hey, it's been too long since we talked. Let's connect. Because that would give you, you know that there's an interest in that right now. But let's talk about Sales Navigator for a second. I'm going to use you, Rima, as a guinea pig here. Mm-hmm. Spell your name right.
R-E-M-Y-A.
R-E-M. Are we not connected?
Y-A. Oh, I think we are. No? Okay.
All right, let me just use Christina Dave. So Christina and I do a lot of work together, so I'll use Christina. If I meet, let's go back to the realtor example, right? Mm-hmm. If I meet somebody and I think that we can partner and they can bring me multiple clients, I can go here and go to View in Sales Navigator, and I'm going to show you what happens now. So as I view it in Sales Navigator, I can now save Christina as a lead. And by the way, you don't have to be connected to them to save them as a lead. You can, if you meet somebody and they're not connected yet, you can save them as a lead. So I want to save it as PR for anyone. And now what happens is on Sales Navigator, I get a wall, just like the regular wall, all full of people that I've saved as leads. So now it makes it really easy for me to go in here and share, like, and comment on the profiles of people that I think are leads for me, right? So it gives me the ability now to be really of value to them, keep my name in front of them. You know, thanks so much, Sue, blah, blah. Now, this is a potential lead. I don't know why she's a potential lead, but, you know, these are people that I can do that. It also, if they're in here as a lead, it also gives me the ability to keep track a little bit of, did I stay in touch with them? I don't have a ton of people in here. I have maybe 20, but it gives me, it's not cheap. It's like $80 a month. But it gives me the ability for that $80. It's so valuable because it saves me so much time, and it allows me to really nurture those leads and keep on top of mind with them, share, like, and comment what they do. Really, really valuable. So I'm a huge fan of this LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I don't think that it's necessarily necessary for you if that's not valuable to you. But if you, again, my whole goal for using LinkedIn is to nurture leads, to get a new client. And Sales Navigator makes it really easy for me to do that. So yes, it helps me so you can see who people have viewed, you know, people that viewed me. But, and that gives me a chance, again, it's all about that relationship building, right? Mm-hmm. It allows me to continue to nurture that relationship with people I know are interested in me because they just looked at my profile. So to me, that's valuable.
Mm. Cool. Yeah, that's something which is completely new, which I didn't know about. So thank you so much for that.
And you know what it sounds, I know it sounds like a lot right now. A lot of the work in this is up front. You've got to do the work on the profile. You've got to do the work to create a strategy for all of this. But once you've got that developed, it's really just a matter of churning it. You know what I mean? Going in once a day and commenting, maybe going to your LinkedIn Sales Navigator wall and share, liking, and commenting on things that are potential leads for you. It is absolutely going to get you business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So Nancy, I believe we just answered your questions regarding the Sales Navigator. Now Jody has a question. She asked, should I have dates on some of my past experiences? I'm also in my 50s and not sure if they need to see where I worked somewhere or when I worked somewhere.
You know where that's valuable, Nancy? It's valuable if somebody goes, I wonder if this is the Nancy that I worked with at Verizon back in whenever. So it's valuable if you have that on there. Because again, it's about relationship nurturing. If this is, you know, I'm 56. What are you going to do? Like, I can't change that, right? So So to me, and I'm not looking for 25 new people, I'm looking for one. So to me, where I worked in the past, I use it, and I showed you a little bit how I did this. I use it to build up to support where I am today.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about it. So I believe we have answered all the questions so far.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, connect with me on LinkedIn. You know, my LinkedIn connection, my LinkedIn. And if you get that first3things.com, you'll know how to make this nice and pretty and organized like I did, as opposed to having all kinds of crazy letters and numbers in there. That's one of the videos. I'll give you a tip on that. And then if you're interested in, you know, diving deeper and talking a little bit more about you specifically and how you can use LinkedIn specifically for you, I would love to get your applications for these LinkedIn breakthrough sessions. Like I said, I try to do 10 every month. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. So Kathleen says, so glad someone asked about previous careers. Is it a bad idea to list previous jobs that are not related to your current profession?
No, because really what you're doing, again, it's about relationship building. And I use this as a kind of a take it out of the box example. If you worked at McDonald's, you know, you may have somebody that you meet that's now the CEO of a company that said, oh my God, I worked at McDonald's when I was in high school. Do you remember coming home smelling like cheeseburgers? You know, so it's about giving people something to grab onto so that they can start a conversation with you. And those previous experiences might do that. And again, it's your personal brand. Those are things you did. Right? And one of the biggest questions I always get, and I didn't get it here today, but I'll answer it because I'm sure some of you are thinking it is, you know, I'm an accountant by day and a Reiki practitioner by night. How do I combine it? Or my previous career was I was a CPA and now I do interior design. It's your personal brand. That's who you are. That's who you did. That's what you did. And all of that makes you who you are today. And I think it makes you interesting. So I say add all of that and embrace it all and build a brand that really makes you stand out from the crowd.
Cool. All right. So Karen, can we take you back from the share screen mode?
Yep.
I think we could have done that earlier, but that's okay.
Yep.
All right. So if nobody else has questions, then I think we will wrap it up. Last chance, people, if you have any more questions, please feel free to type it in the chat. And meanwhile, I wanted to just go over this again. Check out the www.first3things.com. And Karen has a freebie over there. The first 3 things that you want to do on your website, right? On your LinkedIn profile. Now, I definitely had a whole lot of light bulb moments in my head. So thank you so much, Karen.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I hope you're inspired to understand how valuable it could be if you use this, even just for a few minutes every day. It's really going to change everything in your business. I know it.
Right. So since I don't see any more questions, I think we can wind up. So I really loved this presentation. There was just so much information, valuable information. So one of the things which I want to say is we are going to be putting this on YouTube. Please share that with all of your friends, all of the people whom you know, whether they are a designer, whether they are a contractor, or anybody in your network is going to have a lot of light bulb moments, just like how all of us had. And as a thank you, please go on social media and maybe you can type you are your brand, which is one of the things which Karen said. And I think that is a very important thing. So please tweet that along with the hashtag KarenYLive. So please tweet that you are your brand, hashtag KarenYLive, and also add the hashtag ASIDNJ, because we want this wonderful community to really rock, and to for people out there to know that our ASID chapter really rocks. So please do that. And Karen would really appreciate it. So please use her hashtag KarenYLive and
tag me. Here's my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle. Tag me in your posts. I'd love that. I'll retweet you. Get you in front of a ton of people.
Yes. So absolutely. And please connect with her on LinkedIn. There is, yeah.
And if you liked this, please go to LinkedIn and I would love it if you wrote a recommendation telling people that you liked it. That would really be helpful to me as well.
Yes, yes.
And feel free, by the way, get really comfortable saying that to your clients. Those LinkedIn recommendations are really valuable. That's my last tip. And I'm gonna run with, I have to run as well. So it was so good to be with you here with you all today.
All right, so thank you so much. And we are going to see you next time on the next Tech Talk. Thank you. Bye-bye.